All right, so this lesson is talking about multiplying polynomials. We just discussed how we add and subtract. When you multiply, there's really nothing special to it. Perhaps you remember how to multiply a binomial times a binomial, which we use a very common acronym called FOIL. Okay, which is totally true. You can use FOIL, but what happens when you have something maybe a little bit more advanced like this problem, 8r minus 7, and then multiplied by negative 3r squared minus 4r minus 3. So those are, that you can't just FOIL that. So I'm going to go back here to this problem to explain a different way to think about it. Okay, what we're doing, let's pretend like this negative 3 isn't a part of the problem. Let's pretend it was just 7x. Okay, if we were to do that, we would just distribute the 7x to both terms, right? And it would be 42x squared minus 14x. Right? That's what it would be if we got rid of the negative 3 and it was just 7x. Now, let's bring that negative 3 back, and this time, let's ignore the 7x. What would you do then? Well, you would just distribute the negative 3 to both, right? So that's what we're doing. Let's distribute negative 3, so I get negative 18x, and negative 3 minus 2 is plus 6. Okay? And again, I just did FOIL, but I wanted to explain it a little bit differently to you because that's what the technique you're going to have to use to figure out some of those more advanced ones. So in this problem, to wrap this one up, combine like terms right here, negative 14x minus 18x, and that's going to give me 42x squared minus 32x plus 6. Okay? And that's how you find the product. You multiply it together, and there's our answer. Okay? So for this problem, we're going to essentially do the same thing. Okay? But let's ignore that negative 7 for now. And all we do is distribute the 8r to everything first. Okay? So 8r times negative 3r squared is negative 24r cubed. 8r times negative 4r is negative 32r squared. And 8r times negative 3 is negative 24r. Okay? Then let's bring back that negative 7 and cross out the 8r this time. And now we'll distribute the negative 7 to everything. So it would be positive 21r squared plus 28r plus 21. All right, now that we've done that, let's combine like terms, and then we're done here. Negative 24r cubed is the only term with an r there. Negative 32r squared and 21r squared, those combine to be negative 11r squared. Then we have negative 24r and positive 28r, which gives me positive 7r. And then 21 is all by itself, so we just tack it on to the end. Okay? So that's how you solve those problems. So basically, you ignore the first term, or excuse me, ignore the second term of the binomial, and then just distribute the first, then just distribute the second. And that's how you do that. So when you get to a problem like this one, all you really do is, okay, let's ignore those and distribute the negative 2n squared to everything first. Okay? Then you would ignore the first and the last term and distribute the 8 and everything. Then, to wrap this up, you would ignore the first two terms and distribute the 6 to everything. Okay? So, essentially, you have to do the multiplication 9 different times, but hopefully that made sense on how to do it. And this will be a problem that we can do later in another video. But I want to move on. No, excuse me. You know what? Let's finish this. Let's finish this one. All right. So let's do the green first. So what I did, I'm doing the arches in green. Okay. So negative 2n squared times 8n squared gives me negative 16n to the fourth. Negative 2n times negative 5n is positive 10n cubed. Negative 2n squared times negative 7 is positive 14n squared. Okay, we'll move on to purple. 8n times 8n squared is 64n squared. 8n times negative 5n is negative 40n squared. Excuse me, that's 64n cubed. And then 8n times negative 7 is negative 56n. And then let's do the blue arches. And that's going to give me plus 48n squared, negative 30n, and negative 42. Okay. All right, so there we go. Those are all my terms. Ooh. All right, let's combine like terms together. Okay, n to the fourth is the only one like it. So we write negative 16 n to the fourth. Okay, let's see, I have an n cubed, just those two. Okay, so that leaves me 10 plus 64 is 74n cubed. Okay, we have a 14n squared, we have a negative 40n squared, and a 48n squared. 14 minus 40 gives me 26. 26 plus 48 is going to give me wait a second. 14 minus 40 is 16. There we go. 16. 16 plus 48 gives me, oh, it's negative 16. Oh, Mr. Schwan, I'm all over the place. Negative 26. Negative 26 plus 48 is 22. Yes. Positive 22. Wow, that was hard. At least for me. Calculators are a great thing. All right, negative 56n minus 30n gives me negative 86n. And then negative 42 is all by itself. Wow, so there you go. If you don't pay attention or be careful with yourself, so that's how we multiply polynomials.